everybody, welcome back. My first guest tonight is an Emmy Award-winning actor, comedian, writer, and producer you know from Saturday Night Live, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and his latest film, Palm Springs. Please welcome to A Late Show, Andy Samberg. Hi, Andy.
Hi.
Hey, good to see you.
You too. How are you?
Good. I'm liking this. This is nice. This is très distingué.
Yeah, I've been saying I tried to get the Jamie Dornan part in Barb and Star, but no dice.
I don't know whether you're going to challenge me to a duel or suggest a three-way.
I mean, you'd think being friends with Wig would have put me over, but no, not even close, apparently. Wasn't even considered.
Hey, before we go anywhere, before we talk about anything, I just have to hit you with a big thanks for a movie that I was a little late to, admittedly, and that is Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping. And if people out there have not seen it, please stop. Turn off this show right now. No. This show. Go watch Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping. It is, pound for pound, one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. I watched it 3 times over the Christmas break. I watch it. I keep it on. I own it. I just pop it on every few minutes just to cheer me up a little bit. It's my Zoloft. It's my Xanax. First of all, listen, I'll let you talk eventually. The music is not only funny, but it's really good. I mean, no, I'm not gay, but if I was, I would demand equal rights. Come on. It is. Now, I hope everybody waxes that poetically to you about this movie. I mean,
every now and again. I mean, this is a dream scenario for me, obviously, especially considering we put the movie out a while ago. You know, like,
yeah, it was like 20, 25 years ago, something like that. How long ago?
It feels like it. At least. I mean, it was pre-beard. Let's put it that way.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it feels like it's slowly finding its audience, definitely. And year by year, I think it gains more and more momentum. And man, it makes me happy to hear you say that. Obviously, anyone like yourself in this comedy world that loves something we made.
Not as happy as it makes me to see it. Again, joke per minute ratio cannot be beaten. And throwaway jokes, like jokes that you're not pushing hard, just like Tyler, a little just sprinkled.
Yeah.
Now, you made it with your Lonely Island cohorts, Akiva Schaffer and Yorma Taccone, and you guys went on tour before the pandemic. Some of my staff went to go see it and said it was just amazing. Yeah. Is it surreal to hear people singing along with these beautiful but stupid songs?
It's so dumb. It's so wonderfully dumb. You know, before we got on SNL and stuff, we were obsessed with like Tenacious D and Weird Al and Spinal Tap, obviously. But we got to go to a Tenacious D concert and hear people sing along to those songs, which are quite dumb and very dirty. But I don't think we ever really dreamed it could be us. And, you know, like, it's 3 friends goofing around in a room with a microphone, and then to suddenly be at like Bonnaroo with like 30,000 people singing "I'm on a boat" or like in a box, you know, where you're just like,
sure.
I don't know. It's that like manifesting the cartoon world in your mind into reality.
Well, as I said, I've been watching your stuff to cheer me up during the pandemic. What are you doing? What are you doing to cheer yourself up? What do you have to keep your mind off the paranoia?
A lot of parenting. I got a 3-year-old daughter.
Okay, so you came to the pandemic pre-exhausted.
Yes, I had already hit the wall.
And does she keep you in line? Because the people, I've said this before, but the people who call it terrible twos have never had a 3-year-old. It's not that they're not wonderful, but they're even more headstrong, and they're physically stronger too. Does she push you around?
She pushes me around. There's a lot going on. It's definitely more exciting and more interesting, and like, she can hurt me now and does. Mm-hmm. But she's also like started doing bits, which is a dream for me, obviously, where like,
good stuff.
I'll walk in a room and she's clearly up to something, and I'll go, "What's going on, kiddo?" And she'll be like, "Oh, Daddy, everything here is totally normal." Nothing to see here, Daddy. And I'm just like, are we like watching old like comedies? She's got all the lingo down. And then obviously she's like stuffing, you know, beans into my shoes or something.
Does she think you're funny?
She's starting to now. There was a long time where she would talk a lot about how mommy was funny and daddy's not funny. But now she's keying into my thing, you know? She realizes, like, I'll just keep doing something until she laughs, which is my main move in life and in career.
Do you want her to see your stuff? Like, is there stuff you don't want her to see?
I mean, eventually I want her to see it all.
I kept my kids for a long time from seeing anything. Like, just don't watch anything. I just want to be your dad. I don't want to be on TV.
But we're similar in that there's a range, right? Like, you probably want them to be teenagers at least till they see one of my all-time faves, Strangers with Candy.
They still haven't watched that, and that's fine with me.
Yeah. Not fine with me, 'cause that's classic.
Sometimes I watch it, I go, we wrote that?
It's so good. It's so good.
My daughter once looked at me. I was on the phone call. I was actually with Paul Dinello, who I wrote Strangers with, and Amy. And I was on the phone call with him, and we were working on a script. And I got off the phone, and she looked at me. She was looking at me sidelong like this. Like that. Like she was thinking about what I just said. And I went, were you just listening to that phone call? She goes, I think I understand now. You don't mean what you're saying. And I said, yes, Daddy doesn't mean what he's saying for a living.
How old was she, you think?
7, 8, something
7.
like that. Yeah.
That's when your like sarcasm clicks.
Just beginning to go.
Yeah. That's where I get in trouble, honestly, with my daughter is sarcasm. When I do sarcasm, she just shuts down. Just like, why would you say that? That's
a 3.5-year-old barely has a vocabulary, let alone like the nuances of double entendre. Andy Samberg. Terrible father. Terrible father. Now, mommy is funny. You know, mommy's always funny. Dad's begun to be funny. Let's talk about this. Here is your lovely wife right here. You're married to superstar harpist Joanna Newsom.
That's right.
How much has harp music played into the pandemic? Is it soothing?
Oh, yeah.
Or does it feel like maybe you've succumbed and you're in heaven now? What does
it feel? Yeah, you do feel like you passed through them pearly gates. But I mean, you know, it was like that before for me. I met Joanna at one of her concerts. I was a really huge fan of hers before we even knew each other.
So you were already going into this. You were a harp head.
Oh yeah, major harp head.
You're a musician. Have you played? Have you said, let me get in there. Let me jam. Have you tried it?
Oh yeah, I've tickled the sheep guts.
Is it really? Is it all natural? It's not nylon. It's sheep guts.
That's one day me and Akiva were goofing around talking about tickling the ivories, and she was like, well, with the harp, it's sheep guts, so you tickle the sheep guts. It doesn't have quite the same ring to it, but
it doesn't.
The music that comes out is quite beautiful.
So, all right, can you do it?
Well, it's interesting, you know, she taught me that anyone can play harp and it'll sound good because it's like an open, you know, whatever.
It's an
you
open
just
chord.
strum it and it's all in tune. Yeah,
okay.
Open chord. But so it's easy to play the harp, but it's impossible to play it well. Basically, so
okay, so you get to be like intermediate immediately, and then you never go anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Your latest film is Palm Springs, huge hit, debuted at Sundance. The last time, I think the last time people in show business were allowed to get together and watch each other's movies. Right. Actually, was because everything shut. It was right around this time, right? Right around now, a year ago.
Yeah.
It's a perfect COVID movie thematically. Tell the American people what it's about.
It's a movie about a wedding in Palm Springs, and without giving too much away, you basically learn quickly that one of the guests is stuck there in a time loop. So he's reliving that day over and over again. That's me. And then through some entertaining circumstances, he accidentally brings someone else in as well. And
to the loop, so someone else becomes aware of it?
Yeah. Who my buddy Kristen Milioti, who co-stars in the movie with me. And it takes off from there.
Well, we have a clip here. It shows how your character uses the time loop to his advantage, I think, to seduce her?
In his own mind, that's what he's attempting, yeah. He knows everything that's going on here, but she still doesn't. She's still outside of it all.
Okay. Jim? operator.
That's my song. I'm still rocking to that song.
Palm Springs is available on Hulu now. Andy Samberg, everybody. We'll be right back with CNN's chief international correspondent, Clarissa Ward.